Welcome back, everyone. Hi, I'm Maria. This is Anthony, and today we're going to speak with Sally and Wayne Schmidt, who we work very closely with. We've been working very closely with for the last, almost 2 years now, and they take care of all our sales and marketing. And the best thing is that they don't do it from Sydney; they do it from overseas. So they've been traveling for the last 4 years all around the world, and they have a marvelous story to share. So we thought we'd take the opportunity to have them share their story with you of what it's like traveling. So,
thank you, Marie. Thank you, Anthony.
Hello.
Sal, do you want to go first?
Hi, I'm Sally. So it's nice to meet you all. We're happy to be sharing a little bit about our story.
Now, Sally's missed stats. Wait a minute. How many countries have you done in the last 4 years?
In the last 4 years, we've done 30 countries.
Wow.
And then in the last 1.5 years, we've done 9 countries. So, yes. And overall, we've done 53 countries since we started traveling.
Amazing.
But we travel slowly. Like when we say 9 countries, it's
three months in each country.
Yeah. Because that's what we try to stay within the normal visa that you have to get, like just a normal tourist visa. Yeah, sorry. So we stay with a tourist visa, say for 3 months. We work remotely, so online. So we're helping people like yourself with all your sales and marketing. We're just like you, twins. Like we work together. We met each other at work, and we've been married how many years now?
15.
Thank you. She always gets it wrong, but she got it right this time because we celebrated our wedding anniversary here. We're currently now in Istanbul in Turkey at the moment. So that's our current country, where we traveled in the last year and a half.
In the last year and a half.
Where we
So just a quick snapshot of where we've been. So since December 2019, so we started in Morocco. We've had 3 months in each country. So Morocco, Tunisia, and we traveled across to Austria. And then we were there for 4 months for obvious reasons. And then we snuck away into Croatia and then continued through the Balkans. So we did Croatia, Montenegro, Albania, Macedonia, and then we went up into Serbia. Did we miss any?
No. And now we're in.
And now we are in Turkey.
Yeah. It's been fun. It's been a big journey. Lots of.
How do you decide where to go next?
Oh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? So we sort of we look at the map, really. So we get the map of the world, and we look where we are, and then we look at the borders of the countries next to us. And then we sort of have a look, go, which one do we want to go to? We plan, we talk to a lot of people. So we learn a lot when we're traveling. So we'll chat away with everyone that we meet when we're out wining and dining, that we love to do. And we get lots of tips on, oh, you want to go there? No, don't go there. You won't like that, but it's always up to us what we want to do. But then we have a look at the map and we'll go, all right, let's go there. So then we'll just start to research. We've got a few websites that we use to make sure that it's easy to get, restrictions wise and all of that. And we like just crossing the border by a car. We don't like being in the car for more than 3 hours. So we look for somewhere really close and jump in and taxi across and off we go. And generally that's worked in the last 12 months or 18 months. Yeah.
Crossing borders has been actually the surprise. That was the big surprise was
how easy it was.
Oh, so easy. It's just, you laugh sometimes. It just makes you smile. Like, because most of the time we cross the border just in a taxi because that's the cheap way. It's not like in Australia, like just taxis are just cheap, and you'll just say, you'll pay a point-to-point price and they'll just come with you. But often we've been sitting in the back seat of a taxi and we'll have our mask on and the guy won't even get out of his booth. He'll just look and I'm going, I could be anybody. Yeah, stamp, come on.
Yeah, the taxi driver usually gets in more questions than we do. Who are you? Why are you crossing?
And then they're always really funny. Like, remember the one where we were crossing the border? We had to get out that time. And because that border crossing, the border from one country to the next country was like 10 feet. So they had one guard table and another one, customs. And he's sitting in his booth and, these countries take smoking to Olympic levels. just Olympic. His booth is just like it's just a fog room of smoke. He's just sitting there, his fag singing, his drip, and he opens it and the smoke pours out. And you hand him your passport, he stamps it, and then you just hand it to the guy next door. You've just changed countries. Boom, that. You just go.
Nice. Welcome to Albania.
Yeah, or
Wow.
Serbia, or all of them have been just super easy. Even we took our first plane trip this year.
Yeah, so that's another thing. So we hadn't been on a plane for about 12 months. We did a quick trip in Croatia probably 12 months ago, just to move cities. But then we're off to Romania. So about a month ago, our next destination from Serbia was to Romania. And then about 2 days out, we had a little bit of what do we do? So there was a few COVID related incidents where restrictions were tightening. So we chose not to go there. So we had to quickly change. We had taxis booked, hotels booked, we're on our way. And then, let's change tact. We don't want to go now. So we booked a flight to Istanbul. We chose the next country that was pretty open and free and life was normal. So we jumped on a plane to Turkey.
Amazing.
And it was amazing. Clearly got all our money back because we hadn't paid anything so there's no issue at all for Romania. But yeah.
And it was so that was our first plane trip in nearly 2 years. Oh, what? More than 2 years? Yeah, nearly. International, yeah. And I mean, international in Europe is like an hour. It's a bizarre. It's not Australia, in Australia, when you're flying out of Australia internationally, you're sitting on the plane 4 hours later, you still go, I'm still in Australia. You look over it and you go, I'm still here. Whereas, in Europe, it's, 1 hour and you change 3 countries, but it was our first plane trip and we were going, I'm researching and I've made Sally print out everything three times, like a kilogram of paper. I'm sorry, I've had to pay for so many trees in the world. And we get there and there's no queue. There was no one in the airport because we got there a bit earlier because I was a bit of a worry merchant and Sally likes to be on time. Not so much. Get to the airport. Beautiful taxi driver. We got photos of him. He was just so happy.
I had a sister in Sydney, actually. Yeah. Everyone does.
In Serbia, everybody has a relative. Everybody in Balkans, Macedonia. Everybody in the Balkans has somebody that lives in Australia. But anyway, he was lovely. Got to the counter. No one there. We got stamped. Went through customs. Got stamped. Got in. Did some duty-free shopping. 45 minutes, we're in the lounge, from the doorstep to
from the city of Belgrade.
Yeah. It was just
and it was like a 25-minute drive.
This was this is from our door, not going through the airport. We were going, is it supposed to be like this? We just
it was super easy.
And then the airport's kind of like this, you get this funny thing, some people have masks, some people won't. You just go with it. You just go with the flow. No one's going to rugby tackle you. Getting on the plane was cool. The plane was lovely. Remember,
it was
air
served. Yeah,
they gave us alcohol.
Yeah, we were around. It was normal.
And we got, and then on the plane, some people wore masks, some people didn't. The airline didn't really care. No one's going to get taken off. It was just didn't. And then doing what we do so well, which is not researching. I know Sally says she researches, but we don't like to research too much as in okay, we're going to go to that country. Cool, tick. As in the actual city we're going to, didn't really, we're going to Istanbul, which we'd been to once before, but we were only there for one night and most of that were dancing on tables and probably a little bit. That was her, it wasn't me. Honestly, it wasn't me.
He's under 30 back then.
That was a long time ago. So, we get off the plane and boom, we're into, this is the 13th largest city in the world. So we got our first taste of a big international airport.
It's a beautiful airport, actually, Istanbul Airport. But it was, we were so shocked. We didn't expect it. walked into immigration and the queues were, 300 deep, like it was just crazy and everyone's on top of each other and
social distancing out the
pushing
door.
through, and it was like, there's no problem here. So it took us about an hour to get through. Some people were rejected because you need a special form to arrive into Turkey and they might not have done that. But our dude just stabbed through, bang, we went,
Come on through.
yes, we're in another one. But but it was just crazy,
And then,
crazy busy.
Then we caught like the car into Istanbul, and like we were those girls that were from Kenya, but they were living in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So like, just the bizarre things you get, these lovely girls that, are originally from Kenya and now they lived in Switzerland, and they're having a girls' weekend because that's what you can do in Europe. They're having a girls' weekend in Istanbul, and they were a laugh. We were just chatting to them and they were out to party and play up. There was
shopping.
Shopping, more shopping.
I've never seen so many shops in my life.
And then you get here and you're walking around the streets and it was just, what was that street that you were talking about? Oh, but there was one that
down near town.
Yeah.
What is it?
How many people? Something like 1 million people walk through.
Yeah, Taksim. It's the centre of Istanbul, I think. So it's City Square, but 3 million people go through this, pedestrians every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So imagine a population of Melbourne walking down this street.
So there's nearly 20 million people in Istanbul. So it's big.
I laugh because we didn't know any of this, that there's 20 million people.
Yeah. And
we got up and we went, that's the most people we've seen. Like there's just people everywhere. And so we'd been traveling at countries where, there's people and there's people out all the time shopping, and life is fully 100% on everything. Like you've got to understand, like Greece, Italy, Croatia had their biggest tourism seasons ever.
Croatia, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. Greece as well. Actually over.
I think they've beaten the 2019.
Yeah. So we hadn't struck down there. We hadn't got to the Greek islands, unfortunately, or the Italian islands yet, but we'll get there. So we hadn't had heavy tourism, and then we got here, and it was like, wow.
It's intense.
Wow, we're not in Kansas anymore. That was just...
So anyway, tourism is not dead.
Yeah, and it's just... like they've just taken an approach of, well, it's just...
life goes on.
Yeah, that's it. Every country's got weird approaches. Like, these countries, don't forget, have had, changed so many times. The place we were staying in Croatia, they had this one household had 3 different passports for 3 different countries because it had been invaded so many times. So it was Austrian. The 3 siblings had an Austrian passport, an Italian passport, and a Croatian passport.
And they're all at 2 years apart.
Yeah, because that's things change in these countries. And so, that's what you start to learn, is that they've just got a cultural tolerance to,
very tolerant.
They've kind of like dust themselves off and go, yep, life goes on.
Yeah, we do miss the Balkans.
Yeah, we do miss the Balkans. So if you're Australians and listening to us, if there's a place that would capture your heart, it's the Balkans. Be kind. It's
the undiscovered
it's
the area.
You live like a king. We've never felt.
It's incredibly cheap.
It makes Asia look expensive, and Asia is expensive now. So those of you, we lived in Asia for. We've been traveling for 4 years, so part of that was all through Asia. So we've done. I don't need to see another temple for the rest of my life. We've got the mosque now. We have call to prayer.
We love call to prayer.
It's the funny things that you just love. Like you're lying there in bed and you're hearing call to prayer, and it's just lovely. It's a really, you see people on, I don't know, TripAdvisor complaining about, we're right next to the mosque. Yeah, because there's going to be a mosque every 100 meters, because that's the thing. It's their religion. It's their culture. It's their country, their culture. I'm just going to follow your rules. I'm just a guest. I'm just a guest.
Well, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
It's really important when you go traveling, when you go
You've
to
got to
another
respect-
country, you
that's
have to
right.
respect their culture and
and
their
their
ways.
customs and
You can't fight it. I mean, that's pretty that's what we expect when people come here, to embrace us, and we go
Sure.
elsewhere. We need to
do the
embrace
same thing,
them.
so.
Absolutely.
But I've got to say, I both Anthony and I always follow your blogs and your
Social media.
please give me the name of it, because it's sometimes the travel, dine and stay.
Oh, travel, dine, stay.
Travel, dine,
Stay.
and I've got to. We live vicariously
Just
through
through
you. The wonderful places you show, and the food. I tell you, the food. The food is.
It is.
It's funny. It's funny when you're sharing the story about traveling from one country to another, because we had a similar experience, but a little more challenging, traveling out of our LGA to the next LGA. So you're traveling international borders, and someone's smoking, stamping, and we're there and thinking, no, we can't even cross to the next suburb, which is literally about 2K from where we live, right? So we're worrying about there's going to be policemen with,
so is anyone going to crash tackle you out there?
That's right.
Yeah, no one's going to. The great thing is, it's not going to be news. It won't even make the news. There's bigger things to worry about. So,
you're incredibly made to feel so welcome by everyone, especially because there was that little bit of a, lockdown period last year, 2020. So they've just made us feel so welcome, and they're like so generous, beautiful, kind, you name it. And they're just happy to have you here. Everyone.
Why we wanted to share, so interesting in chatting to you today is because we have been living vicariously through you. Okay, you just lost it anyway. But I guess so many people are looking forward to traveling, and there is a level of concern there about what's it going to be like. And I guess listening to your story today and your experiences, basically we're hoping that most people think, oh gee, well, okay, it can be managed, right? Because we're getting the view here that the world's in shutdown. Like what's happening in Australia is basically what's not only been happening up to this point, but most likely the way it's going to be moving forward. And albeit we're coming out of shutdown, truthfully, for example, we still can't travel to Queensland, and most likely won't be able to until the 17th of December. We spoke to Colin today, and he said, I was supposed to go have spend the first day at the Ashes tour for the cricket, cancelled, right? So won't be doing that. So I think what's so important in sharing and listening to your story is understanding that as soon as the international borders open, which they will be, that we can travel to other countries, and we're maybe not going to see the fabric of complexity that we've sort of been living through here. Really, really, really important and exciting. So sorry.
Maybe not being able to speak all the languages has been beneficial as well.
I think you're going to. There is, if you're an Australian and you can traveling, especially going probably further and further away, like Asia is not great because we've gone through it and we've got a lot of friends that live there, and we've got a lot of but if you can get towards Europe, has handled it very well.
Europe very well.
Extremely well. It's just like Greek island, there's everything you think about a Greek island: great food, music, fun, laughter, people dancing on tables. That's we've got friends that have gone over there, we meet. And most of it's fully open.
Most of it is, and it's don't believe everything you read, because the reality is so much different, really.
Yeah.
So one thing we do though, we use a few apps, of course, to just help guide us and know what is open and what is not. And we use canitravel.net, and you say where you're from, your passport, which country you're in, and where can I go, and it will give you a list of the closed countries, the open or partially restricted type stuff. And then it just tells you what test you need, or do you need a test, or all of that, just for COVID stuff. And we use that as a guide, and it's been really, really good. There's many out there, but that's a good one. And it helps show you what's open and where can I go. I mean, they all do it, but
And that's really good.
That again?
It's Can I Travel? Can we see this?
I'll put it on the bottom of the blog.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Canitravel.net.
Canitravel.net. And why it's good is because, we've been traveling for 4 years now. So we're Australian, but we're on an Australian passport, but we're in Tunisia trying to go to Austria. So, like all of a sudden there's all these complexities of, but then sometimes they also just go, "Oh, you're Australian." Come on in. Like
Yeah.
they think that we haven't been traveling around the world, and and I go, "Oh." But yeah, you'll find that most of it's open and just the things that you probably, my only advice, don't talk about COVID. There's none of this. The word COVID's not really mentioned. Vaccines definitely not conversational. You won't be going around talking about that.
No, it's not a hot topic.
No,
It's not at all. And no one judges you if you're wearing your mask, if you're not wearing your mask, if you're standing next to them,
I
if
can
you're not standing
guarantee
next
the
to
policeman won't be.
them. The police don't wear their masks, so you're pretty safe.
Even the guy, like, this is what I love, the guy in immigration, and like there's in this queue went for an hour. Like, it's huge. He's standing behind, he did have a plastic thing that none of them had masks on. But he still had a big spot where we talked through because they didn't have a microphone.
Like, it's Turkey, and I think even the vaccination rate is like 40, maybe 50%. It's
they've all got a healthy distrust for their government. All these countries. I think most, and that's most of it. Like Italy, Greece, all of them have got. The UK even when they had it. So yeah, just travel. My advice. Get on a plane,
get out
travel.
there,
You
get out
too.
there.
We're going to catch up with you on a nice little Italian island.
It's not near as scary as you might think it is. It's not. Our life has been 98% normal for the last year and a half. Yeah, from a travel perspective.
Yeah.
And that's such a beautiful, and that's such a beautiful message, right? That's a beautiful message for the people, in Australia, and I think, having said all the shutdowns and whatnot, lockdowns, we've still lived a very blessed life here, but our life is very different. And I think the media and the information that we're getting as to what's happening around the world and what is available and what we're able to do in terms of travel,
it's nice to get the real picture.
It's nice to get the real picture, and so it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing me, Wayne, every week to live vicariously through you and chat. And to know what's going on, show me where you're staying and the wonderful places you find. Honestly, Sal, the B&Bs you find.
It's amazing.
It's just, I thank you. At least I'm sitting here, but I feel like I'm a part of that.
We feel you are as well.
Yeah, we do. I love what you're doing with all your clients and how you're helping your clients. You really are, because I can see how much effort you go through, both of you. So I just want to say, you put so much effort into helping your clients.
We thank you for all your help, and it's nice to see you on this side of the camera. Normally behind the camera, as they say. So nice to have you on this side of the camera. And we know you've got a very busy day, and we really, really appreciate you sharing so much of your time with us this evening. And once again, I guess sending such a positive message through to our friends and clients that, hey, life is normal, in other parts of beyond these walls. And thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks.
Nice chatting to you. Take care.